What's up, Knights? I'm Adamantium, and welcome back to some more West of Loathing. Today, we're still trying to complete this train mission. Last time I was here, we had to see if we could get lockpicking 3, but I accidentally just walked behind these guys, and apparently, these guys are so preoccupied with the door to the rear of the car that they don't notice you prowling around behind them. The one in the back has a shiny key attached to its belt. It must be the key to the dining car because it has dining car stamped into it in big letters big enough to read from here. Okay, let's grab the key. Creep behind him and snatch the key. The burglar has become the burglary. Indeed. So, I can make it through here now? Huh. It's one of those fancy silver dome things. You never wanted anything more in your life than you want to lift up this dome and see what's under it, but you're not sure you can muster the amount of culinary expertise it requires to properly reveal a dish of such presumed quality. Do it. Et voila! Oh, it's the cream pie. Shaving cream. What kind of lunatics are running the food service on this train? So we have to climb up the ladder, is what I'm guessing. But here's... I don't want to go through Norton. Is there a way to... Okay. Welded shut. I don't want to have to attack this guy. I could throw a cream pie. Or I can fight. Let's throw the cream pie. Oh, perfect. Is he up here? Oh. Why is this guy hanging on top of a moving train with the night? Yeah, that's a bad idea. Let's climb down instead. A messily scrawled note. The note says, I've hidden the key to the forward passenger car in my luggage to make it easier for me to murder everyone in the sleeper car. Sincerely, the train murderer. P.S. Come to the roof of the sleeper car in the next 55 minutes if you want a murdering. Wow, that is so friendly. Crazy. Okay, so there's a... Without knowing what piece of luggage the key is in, there's nothing you can do. Huh, one of these sleeping compartments must belong to the murderer. Maybe it's the fourth one. The only passenger in the compartment is a middle-aged woman who's writing something in a notebook. She looks up as you enter and greets you with a friendly northeastern accent. Why, hello, is there something you need, dear? Sorry to bother you, ma'am, and I don't want to alarm you, but there's a murderer on board the train, and I'm investigating. A murderer on a train? My goodness, that would be a wonderful premise for my next novel. Sure, why not? Anyway, I just need to ask you one question. Go right ahead, dear. According to my evidence, the murderer is on the roof of the train. Are you on the roof of the train? No. No, dear. Alright, thanks for your time. Would you like a meat pie? They're homemade. No, thanks. Just have a look at this playing card before you go. Goodbye. Huh. Check inside the third one. You open the door to the third passenger compartment and find nobody inside. Since a note from the murderer said he was going to be on the roof of the train, that means he couldn't be in his passenger compartment. And since there's no one inside this passenger compartment, whoever the compartment belongs to can only, by process of elimination, be on the roof. Which means the person who rented this compartment must be the murderer. Probably. The only clue you find in here is a luggage ticket, though. It has a number 3 on it. Okay, what about number 2? You open the door to the second passenger compartment and look inside. There's a portly man in a dapper gray suit with a tiny, meticulously waxed mustache, and not, I'd like to clarify, an enormous bushy one. Excusez-moi, is there some way I might be of assistance, monsieur? Sorry to bother you, but there's a murderer on the loose and I'm checking the passenger compartments. Sacre bleu. This is very serious, mon ami. Allow me to prefer to you the use of my little gray cells. I don't know what that means. But no thank you. Let me just ask you one question. Why, certainly, I am at your service. Are you on the roof of the train? The roof of the train? Monsieur, right now? That's right. None. I am here in conversation with you. Good, that's all. You open the door to the first passenger compartment. The sole occupant is a little boy about 10 years old wearing a blue suit and knickerbockers. Hello, sir. Is something wrong? Nothing you need to worry about, kid. I'm on the trail of a bad guy. Do you mean a murderer, sir? I'm pretty sure there's one in this train and they don't call me the world's greatest detective for nothing. What? What's your name, kid? I probably shouldn't say, sir. There might be a copyright thing. Okay, well... Pretty sure I can handle this. Just let me ask you one question and then you should lock the door after I'm gone. I understand, sir. What would you like to know? Are you on the roof of the train? Excuse me? The murderer left a note saying he's on the roof of the train. Are you? No, sir. I'm in my passenger compartment. Right, good. That'll be all. So, you find bag number 3 and it has the key to the forward passenger car inside. That's very strong corroborating evidence for your theory of who the murderer is. So now we're going to the passenger car. Finally make it to the passenger car. One car back from the locomotive, which may be confusing if you thought locomotive meant the entire train, so I could just say the engine, except that also refers to the engine itself, that is, the actual steam engine that makes the train go, and not just the frontmost car of the train. Anyway, you're in the passenger car. Suddenly, Norton clambers into the window. He must have dramatically clung to the side of the train in order to reveal at the last minute that he hadn't actually been defeated. Dang it. He runs into the frontmost car of the train and locks the door. What a jerk. Maybe you could get some passengers to help break down the door and arrest him. Or maybe you could just kick the door down and shoot him until he can't bother anybody anymore. Up to you. This guy's totally panticking, which is a word I just made up that means ranting in a frantic panic. Everyone else is ignoring him as hard as they can. Hey buddy, you okay? It's all a lie. We're never going to get to Frisco. Frisco probably doesn't even exist. They've been testing to see how long we can survive on complimentary peanuts and bottled water, and now they're driving us out into the desert, some kind of government camp. They're going to use our organs to fuel alien flying machines. Snap them out of it. Whap, whap, whap. Oh, sorry. Guess I lost it there for a second. Feel better? He rubs his jaw. Well, yes and no. Listen, we're gonna get to Frisco, but first we've got to bust into the locomotive up front and arrest the crazy guy. I need some volunteers. Okay, I'm in. If I have to sit here doing nothing for much longer, I'll probably flip out again. Cool. Swim just ignores you. The professorial-looking guy is frowning at a sheet of paper and occasionally scribbling on it with a pencil, and then erasing what he just wrote. Excuse me, can you help me with something? Sorry, I'm busy. Ask my wife or my daughter. God knows she could use something to keep her occupied. What are you working on? It's quite academic. I'm sure you won't understand. Try me. Sigh, if you must know, I'm a scholar of foreign antiquities. I'm attempting to resolve this ancient conundrum Far East. He shows you a sheet of paper covered with little boxes, some of which have numbers in them. Solve it for him. That's a Sudoku. My brother thinks they're for babies. What? Look, this box can't be a 3 or a 7 because you've got those there and there, so it has to be 4, which means it's 5 here and 9 here, and if that's a 9 then this can't be, so it's a 7 and that one's a 2. You quickly fill in the rest of the puzzle. Well, damn it, what fun is it if you just solve it for me? Sorry, will you help me break down the door to the engine and arrest the Emperor? Well, I guess I got nothing better to do. Cool. Someone is focusing on her knitting and ignoring the general commotion. She must have been knitting the whole trip because the scarf she made could accommodate a whole marching band. Excuse me, ma'am. Whatever it is, I want no part of it. I keep myself to myself, and I no desire to get involved, thank you very much. Come on, this is important. A crazy guy stole the train, and I need help arresting him, or you'll never get to Frisco. I'm sure everything will sort itself out in the end, and in the meantime, I have plenty of wool. Ma'am, is that your daughter? Yes, she is. What about her? What would you like her memory of this absurdly long train ride to be? That her mother was a hero who helped stop the bad guy, or that she sat powerlessly knitting while the menfolk did everything? What sort of role would you prefer to be? That is tantamount to emotional extortion, young man. It's your choice, ma'am. Fine. Okay, good. Doorway man in a 3-piece suit and bowler hat is probably a banker or something. His eyes are closed and his posture is relaxed, but the clench of his jaw betrays his aggravation. Hi, excuse me. What is it? A crazy jerk calling himself Emperor Norton has hijacked the train and I need volunteers to help me bust down the door and arrest him. I see. And will you help me? No, I'd really rather not. It sounds quite strenuous, perhaps even dangerous. Come on, please. No, I don't think so. I'm quite comfortable here and I prefer to avoid stress. Pretty please. Again, no. I'm supposed to avoid things that might raise my blood pressure. Pretty please with sugar on top? Sugar is one of those things. Pretty please with gravy on top? Gravy is another. Look, please just leave me alone. Please, 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 please. No. Please, 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 please. No. Stop that. I said no. Stop asking. You're really getting on my nerves. Please, please, please. I'll stop asking if you say yes. No, damn it. Please. All right, God, fine. I'll help you. Just leave me alone. Thanks. This lady is flipping through a book titled Birds of Western Territory. Since most of the place is desert, it isn't a very long book. Excuse me, ma'am. Yes? A crazed psycho has taken over the train's engine car, and I need volunteers to help break down the door and arrest him. Oh my, I certainly couldn't be of any help with that. I'm very conflict averse. What if I told you he hates birds and is determined to outlaw them from the territory after he seizes power? That's very sly, but I know you're only saying that because you saw the book I was reading. Yeah, you got me there. Any other ideas to convince me? Suddenly you hear a tapping at the passenger car window. What the? Russell? You open the window and your pet crow Russell flaps in and perches on your shoulder. Hey buddy, good to see you. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful crow. And he knows you? Oh sure, me and Russell go way back. Right buddy? I rescued him from a cat when he was only just out of the nest and raised him as a pet. I set him free when I left home recently. But what is he doing here? Has he been following you since then? No, he probably just happened to be flying by and spotted me on the roof of the train and recognized me. Crows are crazy smart like that. That's amazing. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have an avian friend like that. Well, I'm still going to be doing a lot of traveling after this, I figure, so I really can't drag Russell along with me. But I bet Russell wouldn't mind being pals with a nice lady in Frisco who helped save the train. What do you think, Russ? Russell caws again and flaps over to the perch next to the lady. He lightly pecks at her shoulder in a friendly manner. My goodness, how could I refuse? It's a pleasure to meet you, Russell. My name's Annabelle. Awesome, I'll let you know when we're ready. Man is too busy ignoring his daughter to not ignore you. This little girl is peering out of the window of the train, clearly bored out of her mind. Hey, little girl. You busy? All my toys and friends are in our luggage and it's boring and I hate it. Do you want to help me out with something really important? Huh? Like what? Well, a bad guy took over the engine car and I need some people to help me break down the door and arrest him. What? Mister, I'm just a little girl. Hey now, that's not a good attitude. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do anything just because you're a girl. But, okay, yeah. We'll bust that crook's face in. Wow, that's the spirit. But you gotta pay me in advance. Geez, you're learning a little too fast. Alright, what do you want? I like stuffed animals. I feel like I don't have a stuffed animal. I don't know where I'd get a stuffed animal either. But what if I don't need a stuffed animal? What if I don't need everybody? Found on the door of the locomotive or engine car or cab or whatever. Open up, Norton. No! Alright, then I'm coming in. Oh yeah? You in what army, tough guy? Glance back at the passengers. Me in this army. You and the passengers break down the door very impressively, though it would have been even better if you had some torches and those old-fashioned rakes. Norton has backed up into the corner of the engineer's compartment next to the engineer, who looks over his shoulder at you and shrugs. So-called Emperor Norton, you're under arrest for the crime of being a total ass. That's not illegal. It is when I'm in town. Everybody grab him, except you, Mr. Engineer. I can see you're busy driving the train. Right. Actually, if you could turn around and head back to Frisco at the next station, that'd be great. No problem. Ow, let go. This isn't over. You haven't heard the last of me. Tell it to the judge, Norton. The prison judge. Oh, we did it. You did it. Thanks, boss. No problem. We got the track laid right up to the station now. The first ever cross-territory railroad thanks to the Manifest Destiny Railroad Company. And principally, you. You did a real good job, Bird Holiday. Ah, shucks. Don't mention it. Look at that. We did it. We've made it to Frisco. This is the one-way train. There's no sense in going in there now. Well, I'll be a new face. I'm Clunsey. Make yourself at home. Thanks, I'm Bird Holiday. New to town? I've been helping Manifest Destiny get the railroad tracks laid. It was a tough job, but we finally got here. Sounds like you could use a drink. Clunsey, I sure could. What can you tell me about Frisco? Oh, it's a fine town. Fella named Sanson Frisco founded it way back when the mines first opened out of this way and everyone caught the fever. Mining fever? Yep, the kind you get from breathing too much dirt. Frisco was a doctor, you see. Ah, gotcha. Okay, bye, barman. Lady has rock in her whiskey. Whiskey on the rocks, eh? Haha. Huh. That was a little funny the first time I heard it today. So by now, it should be a laugh riot, right? Mm-hmm. Seriously, though, why are you ruining that whiskey with that rock? I'm not here to drink. I'm doing important research. What kind of research do you do? I'm testing the effects of various liquids on hypercrystalline thauomorphic diorites. Today's liquid is ethanol. Maybe I'm kind of going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing you're some kind of scientist? Good guess. Specifically, I'm an arcanogeologist. Arcano? Magical rocks? Hey, not bad. You got it in one. Dr. Josie Morton at your service. Hi, I'm Bird Holiday. My second guess was going to be buttholes, but rocks don't have those. Not typically, no. Morton, huh? Any relation to that Emperor guy? Who? There was a weirdo outside calling himself Emperor Norton. Are you asking me if I'm related to someone because our last name rhymes? Well, not anymore. Have you met the professor? The guy researching El Vibrato out by Gustafson Gulch? That's him. His work is really intriguing, but our field studies don't overlap as much as you'd expect. No? I'd have thought that El Vibrato would have been right up your alley. There's all kind of magical rocks in that stuff. Yeah, but those rocks were heavily modified by the El Vibratans. My interest is in magical rocks in their naturally occurring state. Ah, I see. How's your whiskey experiment going? Not great, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting much. This test should really be done with pure ethanol, but it's too hard to get that out here, so I'm trying whiskey just for the heck of it. But the impurities in it would screw up my findings even if I had any. Well, that's a shame. Hey, your rock just turned blue. Oh, that's unrelated. Hypercrystalline thauomorphic diorite turns blue every 23 minutes. I have a colleague who patented a design for a watch based on what property of it, but a 23-minute watch isn't very useful. Plus, you know the whole cancer thing. Cancer? Yeah, did you think I wasn't drinking this because of the flavor? It's because I don't want a tumor that can yell its own name. She pays her tab, fishes the rock out of whiskey, and leaves. You decide there's no sense in throwing the bathwater out with the baby, and you pocket the whiskey. Oh my god, another spittoon. Let's go. What's with the excitement? I've given up. This is the last spittoon in the game, and I'm not going to try and convince you to not be the most disgusting person on earth anymore. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, search the filthy spittoon. You kneel down on the floor and throw your arms around the spittoon, giving the greasy bass bucket a great big hug. How about a kiss? Would you like to kiss it? You know it, baby. You pucker up and give the spittoon a great big kiss right on the rim. Is there tongue involved? Well, I'll leave that up to you. But even without it, it tastes like a burning horse. I love it. I know you do, friend, and if it were legal in this country, I'd let you marry that spittoon and have a beautiful romantic honeymoon night with it. But unfortunately, you're going to have to settle for wearing it as a hat. Yes, please. You flip the brass bucket over and slap it onto your head, drenching yourself in hot brown tobacco spit. It washes down over your face and hair like a sewage waterfall, soaking your clothes, running down your collar, and slithering into your underwear and filling your boots. I can't even force myself to describe it in any more detail than that. You're the world's foulest human being. Congratulations. Let's go. Spittoon hat. You gotta put that on. Spittoon hat. Yes. Let's go. Let's head into the movie theater and finish the game. Here we go. Some folks say endings don't matter. But other folks, they like to know how things turn out, the consequences of their actions, like. With the trains running again, Frisco thrived. People came from all over to seek their fortunes. But thanks to you, they didn't have to do it while on fire because some cow attacked their wagon. Looks like a lot of people are there. Wonder how far this goes, or if this part eventually ends. There's a lot of houses. They all look basically the same. Like these two houses that are on the screen now, the two end ones are exactly the same. With the railroad company and Norton ousted, Smee found himself out of a job, but in of an opportunity. After being elected mayor, he managed the growth and infrastructure of Frisco with compassion and pragmatism. In 1944, Frisco was named most reasonable city by the Tuesday Evening Post. Is it going to be the same thing? Oh no, there's another thing. City Hall. There's Smee. Good for him. After you get settled in, Gary climbed to the top of the tallest building in Frisco and shot spores every which way. They say his descendants still roam the West to this day. Huh. After she finished getting the bakery boys up and running, Louise moved to Frisco and opened her own shop, specializing in artisanal breads and pies. Nice. Thanks to your assistance, Hobart Buppert got the photography bug, or should you say the photography owl. Anyway, he opened an art gallery so the citizens of Frisco would never again have to suffer from the inability to see pictures of owl skeletons whenever they wanted. They're all just owl skeletons? That's funny. Kurtz left the fort and set up shop in Frisco. His Cole-Ahem fitness group skyrocketed in popularity. The growth was entirely due to the word of mouth, because the first rule of Kurtz Fits is that you cannot stop talking about Kurtz Fits. Oh yeah, Kurt's till it hurts. No Kurt's pain, no Kurt's gain. The Kurt's music soundtrack was one of my favorite in the whole game. It was such a great jam. It was such a great bop. The cultists you rescued eventually joined a different cult, but the new one is quite a bit safer than the old one, since it's mostly about annoying people on the streets instead of unearthing ancient evil destructors. Now they got triangle masks. Huh. With your help, the professor gained enough knowledge about El Vibrato technology to start building his own. He opened a very successful consumer technology store in Frisco, and for decades, people spent all their time staring at little computers in their hands instead of talking to one another. Nice. El Vibrato. Huh. Just like today's world. The musicians who sent to Dirtwater formed a soulful, lo-fi band called the Onion Motel. They don't play very often anymore, but people still remember them very fondly. Yeah, this is such a jam. You solved all of Breadwood's problems. With the increase in morale and civic resources, they were able to clear the weeds from the road and fix the well and the broken hitching post. There was even enough left over to give the mayor's office a new coat of paint, refresh the facade of the Buttery Biscuit, and add a second story to the bunkhouse. They even managed to get that horse into rehab. Huh, the town is looking really nice now. Great. I'm so glad I could help. So much better than it was before. Olive Garden and Cactus Bill lived happily ever after. They even had a few youngins. Kids and Cactus. That Cactus is stuck there forever. All the rest of the kids are going to go on, and he's just stuck right there. Chuck continued to run his blooded breakfast without incident, accident, scandal, or allegation for many years. You won 4 of the reenactment scenarios at Fort Memoriam. They still talk about you. Remember that when that bird fella came through here? Yeah, he was really, really good at this game. Do we have any more root beer? With your help, Roy Bean's Jelly Bean Museum became the talk of the town. Well, first they had to build a town nearby. Once they did, hoo-wee. Nice. I'm glad. Dirtwater became, relatively speaking, a thriving metropolis. Thanks to your efforts as a commerce ambassador and all-around helpful stranger, the once sleepy town became a shining oasis in a barren land. Every man, woman, and child in the town knew your name. They even put up a little plaque with your name on it in your old room in the Jewel. Oh, I wonder if this guy's better or not. Keeps telling stories more or not. There's a lot of people here. As for you, after your adventure, you settled in Frisco and bought a very long, very narrow house. Filled it with souvenirs of your exploits and started an antique hat rack collection. When you left home, you told Rufus you wanted to seek your fortune. Unfortunately, you ended your venture nearly penniless. Oh well, maybe Rufus can find somebody else to look up to. Oh, this must be my house. All my stuff. All over the place. Wow, this antique hat rack collection is pretty empty. Yeah, this is really long. That's my favorite hat right there. In 1906, all the remaining cows in the west were simultaneously activated by some kind of signal from hell. They thundered east, forming a gigantic, single-minded herd led by the infernal sadist Duke Bovicus. The cow army thundered east towards Dirtwater. Fortunately, a gang of rodeo clowns slipped in at the last minute and slaughtered the herd just before it reached Dirtwater. Unfortunately, all the townsfolk at Dirtwater had a hard time sleeping for pretty much the rest of their lives. Seriously, it was a grisly sight. 420 years later, deep beneath the ground, ancient machines silently stopped doing the things they were built to do. It's probably fine. You and everybody you know are dead by then, and mostly humanity has moved to space. Still, though, it's a shame about the planet. There were some cool bars there. Thank you for playing. There we go. The end. Okay then. Well, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I really think that there's some more stuff to this game that I missed out on. Quite a bunch of stuff, I think. So if you want to see that, you guys have to go play it for yourself, which is good, because then more people will be able to support games and stuff. So that should be nice. And I really hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, please hit that like and subscribe button, and share with your friends. It'd mean the world to me. And always remember to wear your adamantium armor.